What's good, 99 Dream family? We back at it, episode 57 of the 99 Dream Journey. My name is Julian Taliaferro. You already know we coming again with another weekly business update, lessons for the week, and topic for the day, which is thoughts. So I'm a day late on this episode, posting on a Monday night because I was traveling this whole weekend, went to go see family, but still got to get to the episode. So here we are, and I'm rolling into it, starting it with the quote of this week. And the quote goes, "Only weak people go after goals they know they can achieve." This is a quote from Greg Plitt, who was a bodybuilder and also a motivational type speaker. And when he says this, I think he's just trying to say that when we set these goals that we know we can achieve, it does us a disservice because one, it doesn't allow us to reach our potential, and it just gives us a weak mindset to rely on. And I think it takes a strong person to set things that we may not achieve because that's when fear comes in. And again, the quote goes, "Only weak people go after goals they know they can achieve," from Greg Plitt. Now I can get into my business update. And after last week, the only thing on my mind was what legitimate actions can I do to move my business forward? I didn't want to do anything unless it had a legitimate purpose. So one of my big purpose is moving forward. One of my main goals that I have with my startup is getting my platform built. So I had to break this down to 2, 3 steps to simplify it and not make it too complicated. And what I ended up doing was hiring a UI UX designer to start building up a design for what I would want my platform to look like. What I had to do was just hand off my wireframes that I ended up making through different customer pathways and user flows, giving that to the designer for the designer to then make the designs to hand to a developer, right? And this is all for the sole purpose of moving steps forward in order to get to my platform and to my development process. So I'm glad I did that, and just moving forward, all I want to do is just focus on legitimate actions. What can I do today that is going to put me one step forward? Although things like research may be great, those are very beneficial, but that isn't something that leads to a goal being knocked off and being finished. So that's my business update. Just looking forward to doing more legitimate actions. And now I can get into my lessons of the week. And I have 2 of them for today. The first one is just that you get better at what you do the more you do it. So I'm looking at this when it came to me hiring my UI UX designer. I went through maybe like many interviews to interview the designers, and when I look at my first interview and the questions I was asking, it wasn't the best questions I was asking. I didn't describe what I wanted to be built in the best way. So when I contrast my first interview with my last one, I just saw how better I got at vetting out what designer will be able to build what I need and be able to give me what I'm looking for, my end product, what I really wanted. So that's my first lesson, just you get better at the more you do it. And then my second lesson is I was watching the EYL video, Earn Your Leisure, and what they were saying is that there's no balance. When you're trying to get to what you want, if you're trying to get to success, there is going to be no balance. You're going to be unbalanced in your pursuit of this. And I don't disagree. I agree. But my only comment on this that I was just thinking about is just that it will be 10 times easier if you love what you're doing. If you enjoy what you're doing while you are unbalanced, it makes it that much easier to continue when times get hard and when things get rough. So again, those are my 2 lessons for the week. The first one is just that you get better the more you do something. And the second one is enjoy what you're pursuing because that makes it that much easier. So now I can get into my topic, which is thoughts. And what are you choosing to think about? That is the question I want to ask. Scientists say that millions and millions of thoughts go through your mind every single day, but only certain ones come to the surface. Only certain thoughts come up that you're conscious of. And out of those millions of thoughts, what are those thoughts that come to the surface? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are you regretting the past? Are you optimistic for the future? Are you thinking that you're that guy? You're thinking that you're not that guy? You're thinking about rap lyrics, some R&B song? Are you thinking about that basketball game last night or the NFL score or just something to do with your business? What are you thinking about? Sometimes we can choose to think what we want, but other times it's a reaction to our environment, to whatever stimulus we're receiving outside of us externally. And sometimes things just pop up randomly in our mind and we have no certain control. But what I want to break down is, how do we react when these thoughts come to the surface? We may not have control over that initial thought, but we have full control over the second thought. And at the end of the day, your brain is going to brain, but you have to be ready to deal with that. And if a thought comes up, what is your bounce back thought? If you think of something sad, is your bounce back thought still sad, or are you replacing that with a happy thought, with a thought that can just brush that off? If you're on the road and you're driving and somebody's driving crazy and they have road rage, are you going to get road rage too? Or is your bounce back thought just going to be to laugh it off? What do you choose? Like I said, we may not have a choice in that initial thought, but we do have a choice in that second thought. And that second thought should always be in our favor. And I think that's just the biggest thing, choosing it to where it is positive or where it can strengthen our mindset. And that way we can just continue on and be stronger and stronger. And then additionally, one of the things that I'm working on, and it's related to that bounce back thought, but it's how do I get my attention back to where it needs to be? So say I am thinking about an NBA game, I'm thinking about LeBron, how many points he put up the previous night. How do I have my bounce back thought be more oriented to the business and be more on something that I want to focus my attention on and not just something random? So that's something that I'm working on now, and it's necessary to spend significant time thinking about your business. Time determines so much, time under pressure, and when you just set aside time to think, it can give you a space to clear your mind, but it also allows things for maybe to fortuitously pop up just out of nowhere. So that's what I've been thinking about when it comes to thoughts. What's your bounce back thought? Is it positive? And then is it in an area that you want to focus your energy on? So what are you choosing to think about? Next steps for me are just continue work on the startup. And I forgot to say earlier in the episode, but this week is also Startup Week, hosted, or I guess developed and created by Geekdom, which is the community that I'm part of. So I'm excited to go to a couple of the events throughout this week and very excited for that. So that's it for this episode. All right, let's get it, y'all. Going to achieve y'all 99 dream. And it's 99 dream because you are going to achieve your dream. And it will be 100%, but nothing is perfect. So you're going to achieve 99% of that. And let's go and let's get it.